There's a new movie out by M. Night Shyamalan, and I'm sure you're all wondering, is this good Shyamalan or bad Shyamalan? Let's find out. Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to talk about Knock at the Cabin, the latest film by M. Night Shyamalan. Based on the best-selling novel The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay, the film tells the story of a family of three, two fathers and a daughter, who are taken hostage by four strangers who claim that the apocalypse is imminent and can only be avoided if the family sacrifices one of their own. Now, while this setup may sound as contrived and convoluted as a game of Would You Rather, because it certainly is, we go along with it because of just how well the film goes about its business. As confounding a filmmaker as Shyamalan can be at times, his films are almost always visually interesting. The cinematography is terrific, and the film is beautiful to look at. The way he frames his shots is rarely boring. Sometimes his actors speak directly into the camera, and other times they're placed low in the frame or off to one side, while the camera regards them from an unexpected angle. And Shyamalan knows how to build suspense. It's always been one of his strong suits as a director. Unfortunately, those skills have too often been wasted in the service of absolutely ridiculous stories that add up to very little. But they're put to good use here. And yes, of course, the scenario here is ridiculous as well. Kill one of your own or the world will end. And the family at the center of the story, they think this idea is ridiculous as well. Of course the world isn't ending, and even if it was, why would their beautiful little family have anything whatsoever to do with preventing it? But what isn't ridiculous is that their home has just been invaded by four strangers with scary-looking weapons and a deranged story about sacrifice and the apocalypse. And so the terror they're feeling is very real. And Shyamalan constructs some truly wonderful moments of tension through his pacing and camera work, his use of music, and also with the help of some great performances by his actors. The casting in the film is superb. All of the actors do a really solid job, but three of the performances in particular really stood out to me. First, there's Dave Bautista, who plays Leonard, the de facto leader of the intruders, who seems truly remorseful for what he's compelled to do. Bautista continues to impress me every time I see him. Here he gives an understated yet powerful performance, and you can really feel the sadness and the anguish that his character is struggling with. I was also really impressed by Nikki Amuka Bird as Sabrina. She's a Nigerian-born actor from the UK, and I don't recall ever having seen her before, though I know I must have, because apparently she was in Shyamalan's 2019 film, Old, which I saw and had mixed feelings about. I'd actually like to go back and watch that film again now just to check out her performance. In Knock at the Cabin, she does a fantastic job with a couple of emotionally challenging scenes that really help to elevate the film, in my opinion. The third performance that really stood out was that of the little girl played by a child actor named Kristen Cooey in her feature film debut. She was charming and absolutely adorable, and does a fine job hanging with the adults as chaos unfolds all around her. Now, like most of Shyamalan's films, this is not purely a horror film, but it is what I would consider horror adjacent. It's essentially a home invasion film, and there are moments of violence, some of it implied and some of it a little bit more graphic. There's some bloodletting, but the violence and gore is not too intense, and there are some moments of tension and suspense that keep you on the edge of your seat. Like most of his films, this is a story about ordinary people facing extraordinary circumstances, and like most of his movies, there's a lot of heart. But he manages to avoid the Shyamalan trap of becoming maudlin and overly sentimental. He hits all the right notes here. I have to say I really enjoyed the experience of watching this movie. It's not a perfect film. A lot of the characters feel underwritten, especially the intruders, and I'm sure that was done intentionally to keep their motives vague, to keep us guessing about whether they're actually telling the truth or not. But I would have liked to know a little bit more about who they were and how they'd come together. But that's a small complaint. This is a really solid entertainment. I think if you're looking for something to do this weekend, you can do far worse than going to see Knock at the Cabin. In my opinion, M. Night Shyamalan has made exactly two great films. He's made a few other really good ones, and a whole lot of stinkers. Knock at the Cabin is one of the really good ones, and I'm giving it 3 out of 4 stars. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you like this video, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. See you next time.